Hello my bunnies, it's Tiki Strinkus here, and today I have for y'all another polymer clay tutorial. This was a request by Susie Deltarune, another YouTube channel that has requested things before, but I will still put their name right here, just to give them a little shout out. I have a few other requests that I'm slowly chipping away through, and there's also some things I personally want to do, so it's just going to be a slow process of getting everything done. But today, what she requested was Yoshi from Mario. And I thought this would be perfect to make because it's a nice change of pace from the My Singing Monster characters. Not to say I didn't like them, they all came out super adorable. But I just wanted something that was a little bit different this time. And look, he just came out so perfect. I literally looked up a picture of Yoshi, blah, 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 on Google Images, and I found a little picture of Yoshi just sitting down, and he was just very gently touching his nose with one finger, and his mouth was open, and he was like, hee. And I was like, oh, this is so cute. I'm going to make that. And I made exactly that. And I painted the base so that it looks like one of the Yoshi eggs from the games. I used to love Yoshi's World, I think is what it was, on Nintendo 64. That was one of my favorite games as a kid. I don't think I ever beat it, but it was one of my favorite games. Also, I just wanted to mention I got a haircut. And I do plan on redoing the color soon because this is supposed to be all blue, not a bunch of dark brown roots. So I may or may not make another video of my next hair dye escapade because I'm going to be doing my hair with something different. Also, I'm trying to get it up next Wednesday. I went with my friends Christina, my sister, and my fiance Tim to Duluth, Georgia, and we went to like an Asian supermarket there and a bunch of Asian restaurants to try Japanese, Taiwanese, and Chinese foods that I've always wanted to try. And it was just like a little food adventure, although I'm not going to lie, I didn't eat very much. I don't have a big appetite. I'm a big girl, but I can't eat big amounts. And I want to try to put the vlog of that up next Wednesday, hopefully. We'll see how that goes. And as always, if y'all feel free in the comments to comment any kind of requests you would like to see on my channel. And thank you so much for watching as always. And this is enough talking as I always say, so let's go ahead and get on into this. I'll see you there, my bunnies. Recording. Alright, for this tutorial you're going to need the following colors: green, yellow, white, red, and orange. The green could actually be a tidbit bit lighter, but it's just the one that I had on hand, so that's what I used. I pre-rolled all the green balls that I'd need, and we're going to start with the largest one in the center. You're going to start by rolling that out into a very elongated teardrop shape. Mine was about 2 inches in length. After you do that, roll it between your hands back and forth near the bigger end of the teardrop shape to get this pointed tail shape. Once you've done that, just press them very gently against your work surface to make them flat so he'll have a flat bottom. Then use your thumb to press down against the top to make the top part flat, or you can just cut it off with your X-Acto blade, whichever way is really easy for you. It really doesn't matter. After that, I just stuck a piece of metal in it for stability. Next, I'm going to make his little leggy slash thighs. So we're going to use these two slightly smaller balls in the front and roll these into teardrop shapes as well. And then the round parts you're going to cut off at a bias, so they'll be just like this. And then the bias parts, you're just going to stick it against the torso, just like so. And then after you do that, you can see his legs are a little uneven. Just take your X-Acto blade and cut off the excess. He was about 1 inch in length on the legs, as you can see on the cutting mat. So hopefully that'll help you out with the measurements. Next, we're going to make his head, so you're going to use the second largest ball we had up near the top, which is about 1 inch in diameter. You're going to roll this into a very egg-like shape. Roll it back and forth between your fingers or the palm of your hand. Then take it and press it against the work surface very gently so the top will stay rounded and the bottom will be flat. And it'll look just like this. But unlike what I usually do, the rounded side will not be a space. The flat side's going to be a space. So stick it on with the flat side facing towards the front. Next, we're going to make his little arms. So you're just going to take the other 2 balls of clay we have here. And again, just like before, we're going to roll these into very elongated teardrop shapes, but they need to be longer and skinnier than before. And after you've done that, just take your fingers and very gently press against the rounded parts to make them round on the top but flat on the bottom. And then once you've done that, take some kind of dotting tool or blade and indent the fingers, like so. And then just like with the legs, you just need to cut off the excess on a biased angle, just like this. I just flipped them over and cut them off on the back side of them at an angle. And then I positioned the hands using a reference photo. I found a picture of Yoshi sitting, so that's what I'm basing this whole thing on, and it looks just like him. It's so cute, and it comes out so cute in the end. Anyways, next we're going on to the white, and I just pre-rolled all the white balls that I would need. Starting with the largest one at the bottom, you're going to roll this out into a very, very, very long shape, just like this. Kind of like a teardrop shape, just kind of wonky. It doesn't have to exactly be this shape. And then I rolled it out nice and flat as workably possible, but don't make it too flat or it'll rip when you tear it. It'll rip when you pick it up. Then I put the flatter end on his neck, and I just cut off the excess. And this was still a little bit too much. I cut off a little bit more and just tucked it underneath his little belly. And then I cut off the excess on the sides too. That's what this little bit is here in the front. And then I needed to do the tail piece, so I took the pointed end and cut it off flat. And then I just stuck it to the bottom of his tail, like so. And the tail, I actually did end up, like, it doesn't go completely underneath his bottom, otherwise he would sit uneven, so just do it until it stops at the base. Next, we're going to go on to the other second largest white ball we have. Roll this into a an oval shape is the best way I can put it, and then just using your hand, press it down gently so it stays round on the top but flat on the bottom. And then I kind of curved it just slightly and stuck it on the flat part of his face near the bottom, just like this. And it may seem complicated, but just take your time with this part. Next, I moved on to the other little white ball I had right there on the front, and this is going to be his eyeballs. So roll this into a very chubby little oval shape, and then roll that out nice and flat with whatever tool you have handy. And then after that, cut off the bottom so that it's flat, just like this. And I kind of pushed it up with the back of the X-Acto blade so it would be kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of curved at the bottom. There we go. And I know it looks weird as hell, but excuse my language, but this is going to look like Yoshi by the end of it. Then taking some kind of tool, I used this pointed tool and indented in between the eyes so it gives them some more dimension. Then the ball of green clay that we didn't use earlier, just go ahead and stick that onto his face. If it's too big, just kind of cut it off flat and put the flat part on his face. After that, I took my X-Acto blade and carved out where I wanted the mouth to be and how big I wanted it to be. Then I used my dotting tool to indent the little nostrils on his nose. And you don't have to use beads here, but I use beads for the pupils of the eyes, but you can use clay, but it just depends on what you like. Next, we finally move on to the orange clay, and you're going to pre-roll all the balls that you need, and you're going to need 3. These are going to be for his shoes and for the, what do you call it, the like area around the shoes. You'll see. First, we're going to do the actual shoes themselves. Roll these into teardrop shapes. They're about 2 inches in length. And then just take them and using your finger or pressing it against your work surface, just kind of bend it like so they kind of look like feetsies. And then just cut off the excess. Pretty easy, right? I make it sound easy, but it's not. A lot of trial and error goes into this. Then just take the flat ends and stick them against the legs and make sure you blend it with your fingers so they'll stick nice and tight. Then the other ball, just roll it out into a very, very long snake-like shape. And this is going to be the rings around the top of the shoes. So I just curved it around the shoe and cut off the excess on both of them. Not too hard on that part. Next, we're going to go on to the yellow, and you're only going to need 2 very, very, very small balls. And then you're just going to stick them onto the shoes and kind of smush it against the shoe so it looks like it's the soles of the shoes. Again, not too hard on that. Next, we're going to go back to white for just a moment, and you're just going to take this and roll this into a very, very, very long, thin snake shape like this, but put it again to the side for one more moment because this is going to be the rim around the turtle shell that's on his back. So now we're going to go into the red, and you're going to pre-roll all the balls you need just like before. 1 big one for the shell and 3 little ones for his spikes on his head. Starting with the big one, press it against your work surface just like we did before. And after you do that, you're just going to position it exactly where you need it on his back, and voila. Perfect, right? Then now go wash your hands before you move on back to the white clay. And then you just put the rim around the turtle shell, just like that, and cut off the excess, just like I've done here. Not too hard. Now wash your hands again. And now we're going back to the red clay. This was the easiest way to do this, I promise. Then I just went on ahead and pressed them all very gently so they stay round on the top and flat on the bottom. Then I just cut off the excess on all 3 of them, and then I just stuck them on the head right where I needed them to be, on the flat parts against the head. I actually did forget one ball of red clay. It's going to be his tongue, and apparently I included a blurry photo for no reason, so we're just going to mosey right on through that. Here's the clear photo. I don't feel like editing it out, so you're going to get extra long talking sessions. And then you're just going to take your pointed tool of some kind and indent the slit into the tongue. And then I took a very dark red or maroon color to paint the inside of his mouth, because I just didn't feel like using clay. And this is what it looks like, and make sure you cover up as much white as possible. And then while you're letting that dry, I went on ahead and took the white paint, and I used this to paint the base because I want his base to look like an egg, like a Yoshi egg. Isn't that adorable? And this is what it looks like once it was covered. Also, I got a new white clay, and I'm pretty sure you guys can notice, but this white clay is so much better than my old one. So much. Okay, after the inside of the mouth is dry, just use some kind of glue and glue the tongue into the mouth, like so. Isn't he adorable? And then after that, just take cotton swabs and rubbing alcohol and clean off everything. The white clay, the green clay, whatever is dirty or has dust on it, just clean it off nice and good. Then after that's dried off a little bit, I've just positioned the hand to touch his nose. It was just based on the photo I saw online, and it just looks so cute. After that, I took his eyes out because you're going to go ahead and bake him for 350 degrees for 12 minutes in a gas oven. And while that's baking, I just use green paint to dot on the dots for the egg on the base. And then once that's done and he's out of the oven, let him cool off, and then use E6000 to glue him to the base, and then some kind of glue, some kind of Loctite or crazy glue to glue the eyes in. Perfect. And then I use my polyacrylic floor varnish to glaze him with 2 coats of glaze, and we're done. I also just want to mention real quick, if you watch My Hero Academia, he kind of reminds me of Sui from the show, because she's always holding her finger up to her face. You guys, if you watch it, you'll know what I mean. But thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye, my bunnies.